So I was thinking in the last couple of days, it's been a little bit tricky to live stream. Um, and a lot of the reason I was doing a live stream is to try and get more subscribers, but I ended up actually losing one. Actually, I haven't checked my status of subscribers for a couple of days now. But after doing a week's worth of daily live streams, I actually lost one subscriber. So not sure what's going on. Apparently, I got another subscriber though, so I'm back to 111. I don't know. Maybe if somebody has a little opinion, a comment about why the number of subscribers I have are so few, I'd be interested to hear what your opinions are, what your thoughts are. I really honestly didn't think it would be so difficult to get 100 subscribers. And to be honest, I didn't think it would take that long to get even to 1,000 subscribers. So I don't really know what I'm doing that's not attracting. Maybe I'm not paying for ads. That could be. Maybe everything has to do with ads nowadays. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I have a reminder. I have officially finished the Broderick and Wilkinson cello treatise. It's a complete treatise for cello. And they focus on the beginners, as they say. It's a fascinating little treatise, probably a very early treatise as far as cello is concerned, something that encompasses the entire learning process, how one looks at music, how one goes about tuning their instrument, and then bowings and fingerings and all the way up to scales, arpeggios, and then some little exercises and pieces included. And what's nice about this treatise is that it's early enough that you get some information about ornamentation, which is quite interesting. You read about it in music history, and if you read any books about any composers, obviously the ones in the Baroque period, then of course they talk about uh, the ornamentation and written out ornamentation and the like. And here you get to see it written out and the way it's notated. Very intriguing way of describing things too. It's like they're being detailed, but not at the same time for several things. And this was just a thought off the cuff, so I didn't come prepared with an actual statement. But I'm gonna look something up, because I do remember one in particular, like shifting, that was specific in where to do it, but not exactly when. I think that's how it went. So you kind of had to. I mean, if you're not knowledgeable in it, you have to figure it out on your own. I started this live stream with a duet by Schetky. This is number 10. And I just recorded it. This is a bit of a tricky one. I've never really been strong on my slurs, especially when there are fast slurs and then a long note following some fast notes that have been slurred. And it comes through. I think the recording sounds decent. I wish I was a super confident person, but I'm not. I just never have been. And I feel very inferior when I'm playing music. I think overall it's a good take for the amount of practice that I put in, and that I have not been actively practicing. I haven't been an active musician for pretty much 5 years, and it's all been on my own, with the exception of a very few odd orchestra concerts, which were just really, really nice to be part of. Really miss playing in orchestra. I miss playing chamber music, especially. Anyway, the duets by Schetky, the last three. So this is number 10. The last three do use thumb position, and they are in a level of difficulty that I just haven't really played for the better part of four years probably. And so getting back into it has been quite a challenge. My fingers feel awkward enough down here in first through fourth position, but then you get up here and it's like, what am I doing? I know what to do, but my fingers are kind of stiff, and I'm really stiff, to be honest. And so I thought I'm going to look a little bit at the figures, how he writes them, and what to do with bow. Right off the bat, you've got this quarter. The bowing, the bow direction, I won't address that right at the moment, but I thought about it many times. Anyway, you've got, whenever you start with a longer note than the note of the downbeat, or the first few notes of the downbeat, I can distinctly remember in Bach, and I think, let me think, the Allemande, or something like that, in E flat major. My teacher at the time just always insisted that I didn't play it at the right time, and I may not have just then either. And you see how awkward my trill is. Um, this brings back vivid memories of not playing it right. I think I'm doing it right because I practiced it in rhythms and I've measured it out, and so on and so forth. And I've also practiced it with 16th notes in the metronome, eighth notes in the metronome, and quarter notes. One thing I haven't done is half notes to make sure that I'm really counting, seriously counting. But it's already questionable enough when I'm just doing quarter notes because I oftentimes don't keep the counting going. 3, 1, 2, 3. Well, let's see. I can't even count right now because I'm like, 1, down, ba da 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 bum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. You know, it's hard to decide what to do to make it better because I'm not really pleased with the way it sounds on the recording. It sounds kind of lumbering, a little out of place. It's probably a pretty accurate way of putting it. I think the effect is there, but it sounds just a little bit like, oh, not comfortable. So what do I do to make this? The problem is, and this rhythm right here brings to mind Britten Suite number 1. Let me think, which one was it? The fugue. I think it might have been the fugue. I learned that when I was third year undergrad, and I was super into 20th century music, and it was awesome. I still like it very much. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing where you've got these 30-second notes at the very end of the bowing before you change, and making sure you get them timed right, give them enough time rather than clipping them, even though they're super short. It's still possible to clip them, and I've proven that thousands of times that you can clip them and not hold the dotted eighth note. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So far, the most effective thing that I found is playing with solid contact on the string at all times. And that's how I fixed, I'm pretty sure I fixed it. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's much better than when I began learning this music. I did this to start, right? Something like that, where it's go, I mean, that's basically what I was doing. But if I remained in contact with the string so that it's legato or at least solid sound, that. So it literally is this. I fixed it. Now, I think the resultant music is more pleasing, but it's not necessarily the style that I want. But I'm not willing to to continue on in my old habits where I just said I'm going to play it in the style that I want, even though the results are not all that pleasing. If that makes any sense. Now I'm starting to opt for the opposite. I want what's it called? I want more pleasing results, even if the style suffers a little bit. But that being said, now that I've gone back to listen to the recording I just did about 2 hours ago, and I have to say it's actually quite nice. Yeah, it's probably not true Baroque playing, and I'm not, of course, a true Baroque player. I'm not even playing anything remotely Baroque right here as an instrument, but I still really like the Baroque style. But maybe I'm mistaken, start to think about those things. I'll be right back. I've got to get something. You can keep an eye on my cello for me. Well, just made fresh bread, so naturally I had to eat some. Now, onto the thumb position. I love the way he does this. He is absolutely right when he says in the preface that he arranges passages to stay in a position as much as possible. I don't think he actually says that he's trying to reduce awkwardness or avoid awkwardness, but this is a good example of reducing awkwardness. Every time, that's this little sequence. And it seems apparent to me that you would stay in thumb position there because everything until the very last little bit of the movement is in this high spot. That's right. I think he really is onto something here. I don't know if he's the first to do this, probably not, but the way he writes, it really makes a lot of sense for teaching students the ins and outs of more intricate playing. The second cello part is arguably not a whole lot easier when he utilizes those figures, but he doesn't use them as much, understandably, because it's more of an accompaniment. But you've got this imitation, which is cool. The first cello part, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then the second cello part, measure 1 on beat 4, 4, 1, 2. So pretty thirds, like this. I think you're going to be quite pleased, quite happy with the sound of this duet. I mean, all of them. I didn't do all of the. It didn't record all of the duets yet. I haven't even recorded the episode yet. It's just been kind of crazy to get everything done. Anyway, now what was it? What was it? The duet before. Oh, I remember what I was going to do. My episode is basically written. The script is written, but I've got to record it. I was a little distracted because I went and looked at some of the books mentioned along the way, um, in various other books that I've been reading. For example, I looked up his name in the Old Groves Dictionary, and I looked up his name in the Old Baker's Dictionary of Musicians. And one book in particular caught my attention, and it's a book about the history and the like the general music making of that time, called St. Cecilia's Hall, and it's by David Harris, dated 1899, I believe, 1899. So he wasn't too far removed from Schetky. I think Schetky died in 1824. This book was published in 1899, so he was most likely writing the book throughout, doing his research and writing it sometime in the 1890s, would be my guess. And there is an actual entry that, about Schetky, but it's just so disjointed as far as biographical works are concerned that it's rather disappointing, because it's more personal anecdotes, or actually more at what's the word, interactions with other people. Like, for example, he knew Robert Burns, the famous poet, and this is all interesting. I was hoping for a little more personal information, but nonetheless, I was able to glean little bits here and there. And the fact that he was a good friend of Robert Burns, the famous Scottish poet, was interesting enough. And he set one of Burns's poems, or songs as they call it, to music, and I think it's called Clorinda. I forgot the last part of the title. Clorinda. Well, Clorinda something. And I'd also like to point out that whoever was writing in the local paper called him a celloist instead of cellist. It makes me chuckle because, I mean, when I was little, I think I said celloist as well. And then you get oodles of people coming up to you and saying, "Wow, you're such a good celloist. I really enjoyed your music." And then you you feign to or pretend that it doesn't matter that you're being called a celloist instead of a cellist. All right, thanks so much. I would love to see some likes and some more views. So please, if you stop by, press like on this video, and go and press like on one other video. Just click one other of my videos, a short Schetky duet, or a sonatina by Klangel, or a little piece by August Nook. Press like. It'd just make my day. And if you can tell your friends, it would just take one friend each for my subscribers, and I'd be up to 200 subscribers in no time. So that would be wonderful to see a little help in that area. 500 subscribers. If I get 500 subscribers, I can start making community posts, or posts in my community tab, which is not present at the moment because I don't have 500 subscribers. But I just want to point that out. So my immediate goal is just getting 200 subscribers. Then the second most immediate is getting 500 subscribers, so I can start posting in the community thing, because I think that's pretty interesting. It's a little bit like social media, like it's a little bit like Facebook in that regard, which is kind of nice sometimes. So thanks for your help. Have a great weekend.